Welcome back, team. In this video, I will explain you how important it is to consider stakeholder and their opinions while implementing new technologies into the society. To address this one, I will discuss about designing smart products and importance of stakeholder participation and stakeholder engagement in decision making and continuing implementation of the smart products into the society. This presentation discusses about two important things. First one is value sensitive design of complex product systems, and the second one is stakeholder engagement in policy development, observations and lessons from international experience. By listening to these two sections and understanding to them, it is possible for you people to understand how important it is for a system designer to include stakeholders as participants and opinion makers to enhance success of the development and implementation of such products. Let us start understanding value sensitive design of complex product systems. When we create a product and when we implement that product into the market, it creates values to different people at different stages. For example, let me show you an image. We call this one a value propagation or value proposition matrix. Sorry, we call it value proposition map. Okay, so in this map we can see how a value will be created for different people that are associated with the product that we are selling it to the customers. For example, when a product is created, it is very important to collect information from the customers because these people contains actual information related to their expectations. For example, when we are creating a product, that product should solve pains of the customers. It should definitely create certain important gains to the customers, and it should also helpful to the customers in completing their jobs. Okay, so if a business understands all these information, business can create most suitable products and deliver them into the society. See how a product create value for the customers. It creates value because the product is the pain reliever for the customer, and it definitely creates certain gain to the customers. Okay, it can be like increased process, increased efficiency, understanding more things. Maybe he ate some food, something like that. Okay, so, and this product will help customers to perform their day-to-day jobs. So here, by understanding these requirements of the customers, it is possible for the organization to create a product, and because of this product, customers can get resolve their pains, get some gains and do their jobs. So this is the value that is created by the customers, and as the customers are paying money to the organization, that is the value they are getting. So this is a very simple example of how a target person and a producer can exchange their value between themselves. Okay, so while creating product, there will be different types of people that will be engaged. So for example, if you take all the functional areas, people from different functional areas will be engaged in business, because of which the product will be created. So at each level of the functional area of the business, definitely certain value should be created, and throughout the supply chain some value should be created, throughout the manufacturing process some value should be created. This is how it happens. So value got a lot of importance. So considering that, we are trying to explain how to design a value sensitive design for smart products. So to make it simple, we took some example of implementation of smart meters in Netherlands, okay, in Holland, and based on that we try to explain some proper information related to it. Okay, so it's a small mistake. So this is how we planned it. We discuss about avoiding fruitless detours in the development of the technology. Discuss about importance of individual and social values. Then we discuss these things with respect to implementation of smart meters in Netherlands. Let us start understanding that one. See, at basic level, we try to understand how a complex technology is changing day by day. See, if we take a couple of years or like a few decades ago, so the kind of technology we use was completely different, and the kind of energy models we used to follow are also different. So maybe a couple of years ago, the continuity of energy in India is very low. So maybe we used to get electricity for maybe 8 hours a day, hardly. Now it is 24 by 7. We got on demand electricity to our supply to our life. Okay, so because of which we are able to use different types of smart devices. Hope you guys understood that one. Okay, because of increased or improved sustainable energy models, we started using different types of technologies, and we started using more and more IT because of availability of the power. Okay, so to address like as increased usage of electricity increased, so it become very difficult for the people who are producers or suppliers or distributors of the electricity to handle their day-to-day operation. So they started depending on IT too for or remote controlling of the maybe meters, electricity controlling units, so they can switch off, switch on from a remote location. In that way, they also planned it. So among them, one of the most important item is implementing smart meters. Okay, let us start understanding what is a smart meter. It's a smart meter. It's a simple thing which will be connected to the individual houses, and that meter is internet pro and internet enabled, and the person who is supplying the electricity to you, means to the customers, and they can remotely operate these meters. They can check what is the bill amount, whether the person paid bill or not, whether to keep this meter active or to deactivate. In this way, there are a lot of benefits that are directly related to the producers of the distributors of the electricity. Okay, see, before implementation, like to create such a big change, it is very important that government should create certain bills that should be passed in the public houses, means parliament, and based on their decisions, it is possible for the government to roll out such bills. Okay, see, there are to project the technology in a better way. Government of Holland, means Netherlands, identify a lot of benefits that are related to the need, that are explained as need for the smart meters. See, usually like in electricity, we observe a lot of frauds happen. If you see, most of the people who cannot afford for the electricity, they engage in theft of electricity. They directly connect to the wires and they use electricity. Maybe you might have come across that kind of incidents when you are in rural areas, maybe. Okay, then such frauds can be avoided because of the smart meters. Okay, next one, eliminates manual monthly meter readings. So it's not necessary that a person should come to your home and cross check your meters to generate bills. Monitors the electric system in real time. See, at this moment exactly what is happening with the happening at each house can be monitored. The amount of energy that is utilized can be identified, and it can be regulated. Encourages more efficient use of our resources. So they can provide some kind of alerts kind of thing. It's telling that excess energy is used by you people, because of which it might cost heavy for you people. So by alerting that kind of things, people might get awareness about their electricity usage, and they can reduce their electricity usage, because of which their bills can be reduced. Okay, so maybe mostly like they don't use, or like they don't waste energy sources, and provides responsive data for balancing electric loads. while reducing blackouts, enables dynamic pricing, decentralized controllability. It can be controlled from one place. And in addition to that, there are several benefits to the customers: far greater and more detailed feedback regarding the energy use. So it is possible for them to understand for what purpose, what is the amount of energy was used. If you see your mobile phones, you are able to know, like, because of what kind of apps are consuming how much amount of energy. For example, if you open, see, WhatsApp consumes 40% of energy, maybe backup applications consumes 30% of energy. In that way it will be distributed, right? So such kind of information can be understood from this feedback systems that are connected to the smart meters. Ability to adjust habits. So because of the feedback they got, they can adjust their habits and they can reduce their bills, reduce the number of blackouts and system wide electricity failures. So this is another benefit. So such benefits are very important, and because of these benefits, Netherlands government planned to roll out the technology in that country. So, but what happened is, they initiated this activity in 2004, I guess, when the bill came to the bench in 2009, something like that. So, around 2009, what happened is they denied the bill and they recommended several amendments to the bill because they forgot to include one of the important stakeholder, that is consumer. They considered each and every person that are associated to the electricity, that include electricity generators, governments, distributors, suppliers, people who are working in electricity boards. So everybody was included, excluding consumers. So this is considered as a biggest issue for the to roll out the bill. See, what bench told is it is very important to listen to the customers. So please include them in your team and consider their opinions, and based on that you can make certain decisions. After the amendments, we can look after this bill. This way, they can weigh some kind of judgment or some kind of outcome to the government of Holland. So you can see clearly non-mentioning of the standards they are following, what kind of standards they are using to implement meters, what standard meters you are going to implement. That kind of information is not included in the bill. Non-inclusion of impact of technology on consumers. They mostly discussed about the kind of benefits it is going to create to create to the government, and the kind of benefits it is going to create for the people who are producing, distributing, and flexibility related topics. So different types of elements that are related to the technology are discussed, but they never included any information related to how it is going to impact consumers. Non-inclusion of details related to the privacy and security concerns. So like when a smart device is connected at your home, it can create some kind of privacy and security concerns, and it is connected to the internet, damn sure that it is going to create certain issues to the households. So that issue should be addressed before framing this bill itself. After, like, in the while framing the bill itself, they should have included some detailed information how they are going to handle privacy and security concerns. While reviewing a lot of information, it is clearly mentioned here that consumers are never included in the review. On the other hand, it came into like it was mentioned to the court, that it was mentioned to the bench that consumers are afraid of additional fees that might be collected by the distribution or like producers for installing new smart meters, and they are also worried about their personal life, personal concerns, privacy related issues. They are also expressed their difficulty with respect to the continuous maintenance of such service meters and the costs that are associated with. So they are like, usually consumers are mostly afraid of two things. One is privacy and security. Second one is the cost that they are going to bear because of the smart meters. So guess what happened? So Senate told that just cross check all the other things that are not included in the bill and make needed amendments and submit it again. This is the decision that was made by them. Okay. So next, what happened? So what changes they made? The team considered standards, listened to the consumers and voice of the consumers, and they made needed changes. Okay, so however, though they made these kind of changes, what Senate did is it gave permission to implement a very small scale implementation. So it means that maybe a few hundred implementations they can make, and maybe every month if 100 1000 or 10,000 implementations in the country. In that way they planned. Okay, so after implementing it, what happened is, based on the observations, it is identified that only 2 to 3% consumers rejected to include smart meters at their home. Okay, it did not created any major issues, so no major issues, no major problems that are with the consumers. Like nobody, like very less people made issues, raised issues about the deployment of the technology. But there is one problem that Dutch Consumer Association, there is one association there that argued that remote controlled switches would constitute this regular question. Like it's like they are very much afraid, that they argued with the court that this is going to create a cyber threat for them. Still, they managed to handle it, and finally, the technology is rolled out. So, from this, what we can understand, mentioning of the standards that are going to followed by the companies or like the government influenced rollout of the implementation. Next one is including actor or stakeholders in the process of making decisions, giving importance to their opinions, and what kind of data can be collected from them, that is collected and given important to each and every recommendation made by them, then only it got approved. Okay, so again they also listen to the network of stakeholders. So all these things played very important role, very key role in successful deployment of the technology. So what do you guys understood? It sounds good, right? It sounds good, right? Stakeholder analysis is very important for successful implementation of designs. Okay, now let us start understanding what is value sensitive design. Usually it includes three types of investigations. When we are creating value sensitive designs, it is very important for us to conduct three types of investigations. One is conceptual investigation, next one is empirical investigation, next is technical investigations. The conceptual investigation discusses more about the values that are at stake. See, when this concept is implemented, what kind of values are going to get affected, that should be investigated before implementing it or like rolling out the technology. Okay, so at this, like maybe for that value at stake, what kind of compensations can be made, that will be usually discussed, but nobody access to that. It is very important that values are given high importance. Next, it is empirical investigation, which involves conducting social scientific research about technological designs, that how they are going to, how the context of the technological design that is created is going to impact social lives of the people, that should be analyzed very clearly to identify most influencing factors. Next, it is technical investigation. Technical investigation evaluates different mechanisms and methods that can be adopted by the designer to ensure that values are identified and appropriate measures are taken to meet the values that are identified. So by doing so, we can create a sensitive design, sensitive value sensitive design. Okay, based on the basic research that is conducted as as a part of analyzing this topic, most common values that are expected by a common, like in general, are privacy, correctness, reliability, informed consent, and economic development. With respect to this smart, if we can speak with respect to this Netherlands implementation, the people are very much concerned about privacy. Privacy is the highest value that is expected by the people, so it should be provided to them. Okay, the kind of measures they are going to take to ensure the privacy of the people should be definitely mentioned in the document, and it should be practiced. Okay, next one, correctness. Whatever the information that is mentioned in the bill should be definitely implemented. That is what we call correctness. The correct information should be mentioned and it should be followed. Reliability. So whatever the kind of mechanisms they implement to control or to monitor the smart devices that are connected to control um, electric energy utilization, that should be reliable. No fake promises should be made, fake control mechanisms should be implemented. So if you cross check internet, you can find there are people who got 2 crore, 3 crore electricity bill every day because of the smart meters. Okay, this kind of issues should be considered by the regulatory authorities and people who are managing businesses. Next one is informed consent. When some kind of change is about to make to the smart device that is connected at home, or like whatever the changes that are happening to the policies or like prices, whatever it is, that should be informed to the users, and approval should be taken from the user, actual user. Okay, so that's what we call informed consent. So we are supposed to inform them, we are supposed to take consent from them. After taking the consent, then only we are going to implement it. Okay, this is how we do. Economic development, the kind of implementation you made, it should definitely create certain economic development to the person who is using it. So this is how we discuss about values. Okay, next, a basic summary. So from this we can understand that while creating some smart device or a smart products, it is very important to understand what kind of values that are going to create it, and considering those values we are going to design the product, something like this as I explained you. So first, understand what are the values that we are going to create, based on that design it. Okay, so this very simple thing. Then value salience. Salience means very important. Values are very important, crucial. Okay, try to consider multidisciplinary approach. These three are very important. Okay, so in the next video, I will explain you about stakeholder importance. But before that, I will try to show some images of value chain. So this is the value chain of production, trade, transmission. Here at each stage value will be distributed. Okay, so it is very easy to understand, and when compared to this one, this is very easy, right? So whatever it is, just focus that how value will be created, and because of that value all these activities are conducted, that you should remember. Okay, so this is a timeline of Netherlands implementation. First initiation was taken in the year 2004. Then in 2007 it was a policy letter on liberalization. Then in 2009 Senate requests amendments. Then finally in 2013 it got a small scale rollout. It's a huge time. It took almost 10 years for getting approval on that product. It is all because the delay is because of the non-inclusion of consumers in the stakeholder analysis. Guys, this is all about chapter 8, and that is related to value sensitive design. Okay, in the next video I will, it's a small video, next video is, and in that video I discuss about why stakeholders are very important for the organization in creation of new products. Okay guys, thank you, thanks for your time.